serious matter. Along with me, we have two news reporters, Anissa Bott and Alice Cassivan, speaking with King Darius on the island of Salamis. At the beginning of the 5th century BCE, the Persian Empire was the largest in the world, stretching from Asia Minor to India. The Persians overwhelmed their opponents with their large, highly trained army and expanded their empire by conquering new peoples. Their mighty cavalry was composed of nobles who were trained from boyhood to ride horses and shoot arrows. Despite their powerful army, Persian kings avoided ruling their subjects by force and through fear. One of the greatest Persian kings was Darius the Great, who lived from 522 to 486 BCE. Darius was a brilliant politician and administrator and a capable military man. In order to rule this diverse empire more viciously, he divided it into 20 provinces or satrapies, each run by an appointed official. Persian kings believed that they could easily win the loyalty of their subjects fairly rather than through force. So while the people had to pay taxes, they were allowed to keep their own language, religion, and laws. Over to you, Allison.
Thanks, Kendall. I am here speaking with King Darius. We are on the scene of the most recent battle, the Battle of Salamis. But right now, we are here to talk about the Persian expansion. So, tell me, King Darius, how did you go about the expansion?
Well, I am a brilliant politician and administrator, and first, in order for me to rule my empire efficiently, I divided into 20 provinces where an official rules each group. We, the Persian kings, thought that we could easily win the royalty if we ruled fairly rather than through force. I decided to build Persepolis, the capital, and the city became known for its beauty. If I control many of the Greek trade routes, it allows me to obtain more resources from my empire.
I respect your opinion. Thank you for explaining how you made your Persian Empire expansion. Now I have another question for you. Do you think this is fair to the Greeks by taking their land?
Yes, I believe it is very fair to the Greeks if I take their land. It is only to make my empire bigger and powerful. It may sound selfish, but I am only doing good for my people, but I will certainly stop or create less war breaks with the Greeks for land. I honestly think that I have enough land to deal with. I know life is pretty harsh for the Greeks over there because they have limited resources and some are relatively poor. Since I am king, I shall be generous to lend some land to the Greeks.
Just a few miles out, we have Anissa Bott speaking with Spartan City State resident. Anissa?
Thanks, Sally. I'm Anissa here in Salamis with Gil, a city-state resident. How do you feel about the Persians' empire expanding?
I believe that it's unfair. They need to stay away from our trade routes. They may think they're stronger and smarter than us, but we won't go down without a fight.
Do you feel as if you, the Greeks, will be targeted in this Persian expansion?
I do feel that Greece will be targeted by the Persians. They only care about the amount of power they have and can obtain. The Persians will definitely attempt to acquire our trade routes in order to get more power.
Thank you for your time. Back to you, Kendall.
Thank you. Now we have Anissa Bott speaking with Ionian Greek living under Persian rule named Beni and Alison Cassavant speaking with King Darius. In 546 BCE, the Persians conquered Ionia, a prosperous Greek settlement in Asia Minor. The Persians were not the first to invade the area. In 1000 BCE, the Ionians themselves had displaced the non-Greeks living in that region. After conquering Ionia, the Persians set up Greek puppet rulers, or local leaders whose nations were controlled by the Persians to govern the area. They also forced the Ionians to pay tribute and to serve in the Persian army during times of need. Many Ionians were unhappy about having to pay taxes to the Persians. They particularly resented the Persians for taking over the trade routes the Ionians had once controlled. In 499 BCE, the Ionians rebelled against the Persian rule. The Ionians asked for help from Sparta, the strongest Greek city-state. However, the Spartan king refused to help because he realized his troops would have to march for 3 months just to reach the empire. To you, Allison.
The next event that took place was the Ionian Revolt. Still with me is King Darius on the island of Salamis. How do you feel about conquering the Ionians?
I feel amazing and powerful by conquering them. The Ionians themselves displaced the non-Greeks living in that region. We, the Persians, realized that the rich farmland and the harbors in that area could be used to create a profitable trade network. I forced the Ionians to pay tribute and serve the Persian army during times when we needed them. I know many of the Ionians were happy about paying taxes to use, but that is just how it's going to work here when I rule this empire. But anyway, it feels good, and I feel like I exceeded my life by just conquering the Ionians.
What a nice opinion. Thanks for your answer. Now I have another question for you. How do you feel about the Ionians and them not following your Persian rule?
I feel weak and betrayed by the Ionians. I let them live while at it and only pay taxes to us whether they were happy or not. So I took action and sent my troops to sail to Greece and attack the rebellious city-states, and just how I expected it, the Greek troops surrendered and joined my side. Finally, after 5 years, we have defeated the Ionians. I was furious that the Athenians helped the the Ionians to try to stop me. I made my servant repeat, Master, remember the Athenians 3 times a day to ensure that I didn't forget to punish them for their part in the rebellion.
Anissa is with the Ionian Greek Ben, who's under Persian rule, and I believe she has a few questions for Ben. Anissa, over to you.
I'm here in Salamis, only a few miles from Allison. I'm here to ask Ben a few questions. How do you feel living under Persian rule?
I feel I'm being treated unfairly. I must pay a ridiculous tax, and they took over our trade routes, making it much more difficult to get the supplies we need.
Why did you decide to rebel, and how did you go about it?
As I said before, we decided to rebel because we felt as though we were being treated unfairly. So in order to attempt a rebellion, we had our allies send ships to support our tiny army. We fought long and hard and tried to gain back our freedom, but in the end they defeated us and burned down one of our holy cities. The Persians are evil and they will pay for what they did.
Thank you. Back to you,
We're in
Kendall.
Nisaba on the island Salamis, speaking with Greek/Ionian soldier Layla. On the island Salamis, Allison Cassidy speaking with King Darius. After the Ionian revolt, Darius decided to attack the city-states of mainland Greece to prevent any further rebellions and to take revenge on Athens. In 490 BCE, Darius sent his forces of approximately 200 ships and 20,000 troops south across the Aegean Sea to Marathon, a town 26 miles north of Athens. The Athenians, who had an army of 9,000 soldiers, were heavily outnumbered. They sent one of their famous runners, Philippides, to Sparta to ask for help. However, the Spartans replied that they were in the middle of an important religious festival and could not send troops for several days. This made the Athenians try to choose the best military strategy. Some of the Athenians' generals want to stay in Athens and protect the city walls. One leader named Miltiades, however, argued that the Athenians' only hope was to stop the Persian advance before it reached Athens. He led the Athenian army north to Marathon when they met the Persian troops. Marathon back to Athens to announce the victory and died from exhaustion upon arrival. He became known as the first marathon runner. The Greeks consider the Battle of Marathon one of the most important events in their history. Over to you, Allison.
I am still with King Darius, and we are going to talk about the Battle of Marathon. How did you feel when Miltiades took advantage to attack the remaining Persian infantry?
I was so stupid to not have the Persian cavalry, and that is how I got defeated from the Athenians and Miltiades. Do you know how sad it is to lose 6,400 men, while only the Athenians lost 192? That is nonsense! The Greeks happen to call it the Battle of Marathon because obviously they won. The little Greek marathon runner told them that they have won, but Phil died from exhaustion. Thank God.
What an answer we have there! Now, here's my second question for you. What are you going to do with your empire now, King Darius?
Just so you guys know, I am still confident that with more military power, I will successfully conquer Greece. Nothing will stop me. But anyway, I will keep gathering more soldiers and restore everything I have lost to make a comeback to the Athenians and Greece. My empire will be great once more, and nothing will get in my way.
Alright, thanks. Over to you, Anissa.
What strategy as a soldier did you use in order to defeat the Persians?
As an Ionian soldier, we tried to choose the best military strategy possible. Some of the Athenian generals wanted to stay in Athens to protect the city walls. However, one of our leaders argued that our only hope was to stop the Persian advances before it reached Athens. When we learned the Persian cavalry was gone, we immediately took advantage of the opportunity to attack the remaining Persian infantry. Without their cavalry, the Persian troops were weakened and therefore unable to attack us from an advantage point.
How do you feel about being led north to Marathon?
The decision to be led north to Marathon was made in order to attempt to stop the Persian advances before it reached Athens, and they could get a bigger advantage over us.
Thanks. Back to
Rooms here at KASAL Broadcastings. And today we have Anissa on the island of Salamis speaking with Ionian soldier Layla and Allison Casaban speaking with King Xerxes. When the news of the Greeks' defeat at Thermopylae reached Athens, the Athenians fled to the island of Salamis to avoid being captured. With no resistance, Xerxes and his troops marched to the Athenians and completely destroyed the city. He convinced the leader of the Greek navy that the only way to defeat the Persian army would be to lure them
into the battle within narrow channels. Once the Persian fleet had entered the channel, four ships attacked. The Greek fleet was lighter and easier to maneuver, and attacked heavier Persian warships, breaking their oars and roaming their hulls. The Persian ships were left entangled and unable to move. The Persians lost 200 ships, while the Greeks only lost 40.
I hope you enjoyed that segment about the Persian Wars. Catch us back here at 6 o'clock p.m. tonight. How about that? Uncle Sam to the rescue! Can't do this. Ready? Wait, are you starting?
Yes!
No! Wait, do it again, do it again. No!